Hi, my name's Connor Riley. You might know me from when I do Good Day UGA as a written post, usually Monday through Thursday, found on the Dog Nation website. But going forward, we're going to try and do it as a video on Fridays. And to start off, we're going to talk about 2020 recruiting. Georgia's class is wrapping up as the February 5th signing day rapidly approaches. Georgia has some of the top commitments and players in the country, from five-star prospects such as Darnell Washington, Keely Ringo, Mikhail Sherman, and the recently appointed Jalen Carter. All those players, along with the likes of Kendall Milton, Mark Roseme, Arian Smith, Jermaine Burton, figure to make an impact in Georgia uniforms. But none of those guys are nearly as important as this guy, Broderick Jones. Jones is a five-star prospect and the number 14 overall player in the recent 247 composite ranking update. He's a 6'5", 285-pound offensive tackle, and seeing him in person down in Orlando, Florida for the Under Armour All-American game, easy to see why he's a five-star prospect. When he's pass blocking, he doesn't just engage a defender, he engulfs him like a black hole swallowing a spaceship. He's massive, but he's also an incredible athlete, able to move from side to side, showing off why he's a basketball starter for Lithonia High School, where he averages 10 points and 10 rebounds a game. His potential is off the charts, and he certainly looks like a guy who could potentially be a starting left tackle for the Georgia Bulldogs. And given the departures Georgia's seen at that position this season, there's a good chance that might be sooner rather than later, because replacing this guy might be Georgia's toughest task next season. That's Andrew Thomas. He, like Jones, was a highly recruited tackle out of the Atlanta area. He wasn't quite the five-star that Jones is, but he was still a high four-star prospect. He started every game at right tackle as a freshman, spent most of the last 2 years as Georgia's starting left tackle. He did an exemplary job, earning first-team All-SEC honors, and is very likely going to be a first-round draft pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Replacing him, though, is not such an easy task. Beyond being incredibly talented, Georgia has seen some unexpected departures in terms of replacing Thomas. Cade Mays, starting left tackle for Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, has since transferred to Tennessee to be closer to home to his family. He was expected to be the starting left tackle for Georgia next season. Now, there isn't a clear-cut answer. There's someone like Xavier Truss, who did travel last year for the Bulldogs, but redshirted as he played in only 2 games. That's why landing a guy like Jones is so important. Yes, he's not going to get in until June, but Thomas didn't either. Yes, he needs to put on some weight, as right now he's only at 285 pounds, but that's largely because he's playing basketball. Give him some time in the Georgia weight room where he can put on some weight, get up to over 300 pounds, and be more physically able to handle some of the rigors of being a left tackle in this league. The other thing with Jones is that he's going to have to learn really quick if he is to be Georgia's starting left tackle. The Bulldogs open their 2020 season in Atlanta against Virginia on September 7th. Then just 12 days later, Georgia travels to Tuscaloosa to take on Alabama, which would be a very difficult environment for everyone, especially a true freshman. But there's one problem with going ahead and penciling Jones in as the immediate starter at Georgia. He's still technically not a Bulldog. Jones is still committed to Georgia, but in the early process, due to the changeover from Sam Pittman to Matt Luke, he didn't sign with the Bulldogs. He's set to take an official visit this weekend to Georgia, which will be huge, largely because it's another chance to have a face-to-face meeting with Matt Luke. But there's also another team to be aware of here, and that's Auburn. Auburn is going to get an official visit from Jones during the final weekend of visits before players sign for the 2020 class. Jones has said that he was very close with Auburn tight ends coach Larry Porter, and while the Tigers did have a change on the offensive line, I don't necessarily know if that's going to be the reason Georgia ends up landing him. Georgia wins him, it's because he wants to play close to home, and he wants to play at a place like Georgia. Now you might retort and say, well, yeah, but Georgia's got a clear need for him. Auburn also has to replace a bunch of starters, including their starting left tackle, who has also graduated and headed on to the NFL Draft. And Jones isn't all that worried about playing time wherever he goes. He's confident in his abilities, and he feels that if he does what he needs to do, he's going to be starting sooner rather than later for any program he chooses to play to. When I talked to him down in Orlando at the Under Armour All-American game, he said, "I know the playing time is going to come down to me. It's not about the school. Either way, I know I have to go into work, learn the playbook, hit the weight room, and work on my skill set. Hopefully I won't have to redshirt and start my freshman year." Georgia's going to eventually need Jones to do that, but to get there, Luke and Kirby Smart are going to need to convince him to sign with Georgia on February 5th. Because for all the recruits out there that Georgia is still aiming to sign, even someone like five-star running back Zach Evans, no player has the potential to offer an immediate impact quite like Jones here. That's why if Georgia lands Jones on February 5th, it'll be the most important and the biggest win for the Bulldogs. For Good Day UGA, I'm Connor Riley.
For more Dog Nation videos, check out youtube.com/DogNation.